Okay, today's video we're going to look at actually replacing the slot gasket. This is an RS200, but there's a lot of classes that have this type of slot gasket in the RS range. The 100, 500, 400 all have them, as well as the two. Classes like the 420 and the Fireball have these, to name but a few. And this is early July, we're approaching the national championship season, the big regatta weeks, your club regatta, and this is the time to actually check what your slot gasket is like, because your boat is going to get a lot more use in a week than it does in the rest of the year, and there is nothing worse than actually being at a big event and your slot gasket failing and you lose at least one race. And also you've then got the hassle of overnight trying to replace the slot gasket. So this is a good time to actually be doing this. It's actually quite a reasonably straightforward job, and most keen boat owners can do this in a dinghy park as long as it's not raining. So what do we do? Right, the first thing you've got to do is actually get the old slot gasket off, and it should just, we've actually pre-done this, but you should be able to just lift the back edges and literally just rip it off, peel it off, and as much as you can, try and keep it in one piece. And as I said, we've done this before already, so literally the whole thing just comes off like this, and we keep this to actually try and use it as a template for you to cut your new one. The next job is you've got to get the majority of the old glue that's left behind actually off. So arm yourself with a decent sharp chisel and literally just get in here, and don't be afraid to use a fair bit of force. Most of these boats like this 200 have got a proper recess built into the boat, ready for this. So if you actually scratch here, that's not an issue. You won't see that scratch underneath, and believe me, you're going to have to work pretty hard to actually damage the boat. And then even once you've actually got the vast majority of it off, give yourself a little sanding block with some very rough sandpaper on. Okay, once you've cleaned all that off, our little trick is to put masking tape right the way down the side of literally that recess, and that's very simply so that any excess glue that comes out goes onto that masking tape, and you can literally just peel it off rather than it sticking to the hole. Just makes life a lot easier right at the very end. It took rather than actually having to try and get excess glue actually off the hole. Okay, so once that's done, you've then got to get yourself a new slot gasket. So you can either buy, in this case from RS, one that's already pre-cut, or you can just get a length yourself. The crucial thing is you can use the other one as a template to get the shapes and the length. You need to mark the middle of this. Measure that very carefully and use a proper straight edge to mark it. Otherwise, anything that goes off kilter will actually really affect the performance of your boat later on. And then use a pair of sharp scissors to cut this. Don't try and, as some people will do, actually try and put this on in one piece and then cut it once it's actually stuck on in situ. That is just a very difficult job to do. So pre-do this before you actually try and stick this on. And the other thing is you don't have to take the cut right to the very front. You only need to take it as far as where the centreboard is going to come out. And again, this just helps reduce the amount of water that's in the case. Okay, as I mentioned, you can either get this as a pre-cut, ready to use from RS, or Hawk are the people that make this slot strip. It's a mylar slot strip, comes in different widths. This is 75mm, and you can buy this quite happily and cut your own. The big tip here is, in terms of when getting ready to put on, is tape back up the actual cut you've done. Okay? This will make life an awful lot easier for you to actually put it into position. Otherwise you're constantly trying to keep it in line and and it will make life, as I said, life so much easier for you to do that. The big thing here is, once this is on, do not forget to take that tape back off. As a very good friend Ian Pickard once did, he forgot to take this off, and next time he was going to sail the boat, he couldn't work out why he couldn't get the centreboard down, and he realised that he'd left that on. He had to capsize the boat to actually get that strip off. Okay, so I'm just going to use Sikaflex to put this on. This blister tube costs about £9 to £12 depending on the outlet. You can get them from an RS, but you can also find them on Amazon, no problem. So it's actually quite easily available. So literally we're just going to squeeze a good complete continuous strip of the glue all the way down on both sides. You will probably use about half the tube doing this. So the materials actually aren't particularly expensive to do this. It's a bit messy, so don't wear any clothes that you're actually going to be precious about, because you will get this on your hands and then it will get on your clothes. Okay, we also will put stuff on this side of here as well. Arm yourself with a little wooden spatula, just spread the glue out so you know you've got a fairly even coverage across the whole area. Anything that hasn't been covered, literally just quickly squeeze some more of this on. And there we go, she's ready to put the new one on. If you had two of you to do this, it makes life slightly easier. But just get the front lined up, and then, as I said, use the recess to actually give you a guide here to actually where to get it. Get it all fairly smooth down. As you can see, well, we'll see in a short while, there is excess material that comes out. Whilst it's in this position, you can actually still slightly move this around to actually get it into the right position. It's not a disaster if you immediately actually don't get it in quite the right place. There it is. The next thing I would do, go to a little DIY store, get yourself a little roller like this. They're very easy available, most DIY stores do them, and then you can actually use this to actually really push it down so that you know you're getting good adhesion here and it's being pressed down well. So just literally run that back and forward a few times just to actually really make sure to work that in, make sure it's pressed down properly. And there we go. That's how to put your new slot gasket on. What you can now do is come along with acetone and quickly wipe off the excess, peel off once the stuff is actually gone off, peel off the masking tape. Once it's really gone off, then you can peel off the masking tape down the middle and the boat is ready to use. What you cannot do is do this quickly. You want to leave a good, if possible, a good 6 to 8 hours before you attempt to use the slot gasket. It'd be better if you did this of an afternoon before and sail the following day, because you want this any good contact adhesive you're using needs that length of time to actually go off. I said so it's not a job you can do on the morning of a race and for it to happen, which is why you need to actually check your boat before you go to an event And actually, if you've got a problem with your slot gasket, do it when it's calm and easy and you've got the time to do it, rather than when you're at the event and you're in a panic. Hope that has helped. Any problems, give us a bell. We can actually help guide you with the materials. If you actually wanted us to do it, we charge £65 to do a slot gasket.